Welcome students, welcome to my second video of the top. As we have already learned different period of history in the previous chapter, they are ancient period, medieval period and modern history. We have also learned there are various sources, historical sources. They are material sources, written sources, and oral sources. Under material sources, we have learned there are various objects like monuments, places, coins, sculptures. We have also seen they come under the material sources. We have also learned about under material sources buildings and palaces. Now buildings and palaces which were made during the time of the Britishers, during the early princely states who have made palaces. There are various building structures, bridges, and these buildings are now government offices, residence of the officers, political leaders, and various houses for or the residence of various revolutionaries. And we also saw in the previous video that forts and prisons and the palaces of princely states, those are taken as they are converted into historical monuments. They are declared as a national monument. Example, Cellular Jail in Andaman. We have learned the Cellular Jail in Andaman. It gives us a flashback of V.D. Savarkar. Mani Bhavan in Mumbai, Sevagram of Gujarat at Wardha. We get information on the history of Gandhian era. Then we spoke about Aga Khan Palace in Pune. It is believed that there are paintings, some objects are kept over there, photographs are there, and different kind of documents are kept which gives information about the life of Mahatma Gandhi. Then we spoke about the statues and the memorials. The statues and the memorials, it is believed that the various statues provide information about contemporary rulers, eminent personalities. We get information about the full name of that concerned person, birth, death detail, brief information about their contribution, biographical sketch of the person. I've given examples of Mahatma Jyotirao Phule, Lokmanya Tilak, Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar. Now, my dear students, next we spoke about the written sources. Under written sources, we have said correspondence, foreign account. When I speak about foreign account, the example is Fahin's travelogue, newspapers, biographies, periodicals, factory records, autobiographies. Example, during the medieval period, it was written by the Emperor Babur who was the first ruler of the Mughal Empire in India. Also, various newspapers were mentioned in the previous video. Dhanodaya, Dhyan Prakash, Amrit Bazar Patrika, Deen Bandhu, Kesari. They acted as a source of awakening for the people to fight against the Britishers. We have also spoke about Nibandhamala by Vishnu Shastri Chiplunkar, Shatpatre written by Lokit Wadi. These are the few of the examples of the written sources. Then let me come to the last source. I won't say a last source. It is said usually whenever we speak about material, we speak about written and oral sources. So I'm coming to the next source, that is the oral source. Now when I speak of oral source, there are inspirational songs. Now when I speak about inspirational songs, Kadam Kadam Badhaye Ja, the song was, transferred from one generation to another generation orally. It was never printed anywhere. Folk songs. I will say folk songs, bhajans, kirtans, all those things come under, I will say, the folk songs. The folk songs, when I say the songs which are related to Mirabai in Rajasthan, which was transferred orally from one generation to another. Example, Pavadas. I will be saying in detail about Pavadas. Folk tales. There are folk tales, there are certain folk tales. Amar Chitra Katha. Now it is printed. Previously it was, passed on orally from one generation to another. Narrations, interviews, fairs, jalsa, art groups, rhythmic prose, all were transferred from one generation to another generation orally. Now first I would like to speak about inspirational songs. Now during the freedom movement, when Britishers were ruling over us, there were several inspirational songs which was composed. At present, some of these songs are available in the written form. As I've said, Sare Jahan Se Acha, Hindustan Hamara, Kadam Kadam Badhaye Ja, Jana Gana Mana. Now, there are many other unpublished inspirational songs which are memorized by the freedom fighters, and they are passed from one generation to another generation orally. Yes, my dear students, we can see here these inspirational songs were the spirits behind the freedom struggle, and we could attain freedom. Now, my dear students, Pavadas. Now, when I speak of Pavadas, there are various Pavadas composed on freedom struggle of 1857, valor of revolutionaries during the British rule. These Pavadas were motivational. Not only motivational, the spirit among the people. They created motivation and spirit among the people. Apart from freedom movement, Pavadas were composed on the work of Satya Shodhak Samaj for the awakening of the oppressed class. The Samyukta Maharashtra movement and such other movements are the examples for Pavadas. Now I am going to speak about Pavadas which are not mentioned in your textbook. Pavadas were, composed glorifying Shivaji Maharaj, who fought for Swarajya, who fought for the rights of the people. He wanted that his people should be free, they should feel free. And so, what did he do? He continuously fought with the Mughals. That we have learned in the medieval period, where Shivaji fought with Aurangzeb continuously to overthrow the Mughal power from India, from Maharashtra. See, Pavadas are made even by Jyotirao Phule, praising the great leaders. I know Jyotirao Phule, he composed Pavadas related to Shivaji Maharaj. So, these are transferred orally from one generation to another. Now, last but not the least, this is the modern source which is available to us, and that is video, audio, and AV sources. AV means audio-visual sources. Now, my dear students, during the modern period, due to the development of technology, there was development in the art of photography, recording, films. Obviously, these photographs, records of films is used as a source of history. I would like to start with saying something about photographs. When I speak about photographs, photographs are the visual source of modern Indian history. With the discovery of photographs of various persons, events, objects, structure, places are clicked. Through photographs, we get information of a person or an event in a visual format. For example, if we see a photograph of Shivaji Maharaj, then this Shivaji Maharaj speaks about the medieval history. Or when we see a photograph of Gate of India or Elephanta Caves, when we speak about Elephanta Caves, ancient history. When we look at the picture of Gate of India, which speaks about the modern history, where the Britishers have made this Gate of India to welcome a prince of some other country. So, my dear students, so photograph speaks a lot. In case of medieval period, there are paintings available depicts the physical feature of a person, visual description of a particular event, but authenticity of these paintings is doubtful. As I told you, whenever we see the picture of or a photograph of Shivaji Maharaj, we find always the flag behind him, which shows that he was here during the medieval period fighting against the Mughal to obtain Swarajya. Then, comparatively, photographs are considered to be more reliable. The photograph of a person gives information about the physical features, dressing style. Photograph of an event gives visual image of an event, whereas photograph of an object or a structure helps us in understanding its nature, like inscriptions. during the time of Ashoka, when he adopted Buddhism, what did he do? He wrote inscriptions and he made new laws where you should be non-violent. All were written in the inscriptions. Now, we also have some more examples, like the earthen pots found during the excavation by Sir John Marshall. While he was excavating, he found the earthen pots, the toys which were used by the children during the Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. Now, my dear students, these are the examples of the video, audio and audio-visual sources. One more example of the audio source is recordings. The discoveries of the techniques of recording was also as important as photography. Recording forms of audio sources of history. During the modern time, the speeches of the leaders, important personalities, songs are available in the form of recordings. I'll give you an example of Jawaharlal Nehru, our first Prime Minister, when he declared that August 15, 1947, now India is free from the bondage from the slavery of the British. There are several other examples, like national anthem, Jana Gana Mana, sung by Guru Rabindranath Tagore, the speeches given by Subhash Chandra Bose can be used as an audio source of history of the modern India. Example, I would like to give an example, the famous quote of Subhash Chandra Bose, तुम मुझे खून दो मैं तुम्हें आज़ादी दूंगा. You give me blood, I will give you freedom. The famous quote of Mahatma Gandhi, do or die. Do or die. This was said during the Quit India movement. Now, my dear students, let us go to the most familiar audio and visual aid, that is films. Films play a vital role in our life. When we go and watch a film, we are able to recall it and we reproduce it without any failure. Now, films are considered as a unique discovery of modern technology. In 20th century, there was a great development in the technique of filmmaking. The Duke of Dadasaheb Phalke in the year 1913, he laid the foundation of Indian film industry. Audio-visual recordings of Dandi Yatra, Salt Satyagraha, Quit India movement, such other historical incidents are available through these films. Events could be seen in reality. Now, before I conclude the lesson, I would like to say, compared to the ancient and medieval period, the sources of study of the modern Indian history are found in abundance and variety. The archaeological sources of this period are to a great extent found in a better state. There are many written sources preserved in the archives, but while referring the written sources, the ideology and the opinion of the author regarding the particular event need to be examined. Like I would like to give an example of the uprising of 1857 or the struggle of independence of 1857 by V.D. Savarkar. So there is a great need of preserving these historical sources through which the rich tradition of history can be handed over to the next generation. Now, why do we preserve all these oral sources or written sources or material sources? Very simple. It's because we have to pass on to the next generation. We are preserving all this so that the coming generation, they could witness the historical events which has happened in India, all the things that can be passed on from generation to generation. Thank you, my dear students, and I hope you will learn it and study very well.